Hi, my name is Sean O'Connor. I'm the president of Universal Furniture. I'd like to welcome you here to our factory in Conover, North Carolina. We started an upholstery business in 2015, import business, ready-to-ship upholstery that we made overseas, and grew that business to a point where we wanted to get into special order upholstery. And so in 2019, we made the acquisition of Southern Furniture, which is almost a 100-year-old business here in North Carolina, and saw an opportunity to revitalize this business and then take the Universal business to another level by offering special orders in beds, outdoor furniture, domestic upholstery, as well as accents. And we do that all here in Conover, North Carolina. And today I just wanted to take you through that process. When we receive an order from you, what that looks like as it goes through our factory, and what makes bench-made upholstery from Universal Furniture some of the best made furniture here in North Carolina. Since 2019, we've spent a lot of time rebuilding this factory, investing in equipment, as well as just relaying out the entire factory, how the orders come into the factory and how they exit the factory. We have 450,000 square feet here in Conover, and we're really proud of it and want to take you through that process today.
My name is Gary Grogan. I'm the plant manager here at Universal Furniture Conover.
My name is Ida, and I am the upholstery merchandising coordinator with Universal Furniture.
So today, Ida and I are going to walk you through a tour of the factory to show you all the processes in the furniture making.
So welcome and join us through the factory.
So when we receive our fabric in, it comes to our fabric inspection area. So we're going to be inspecting the fabric for defects and flaws or anything that could be wrong with the fabric before we make our furniture. So Timmy will be inspecting each roll of fabric as it comes in. So as we do the same process in fabric, we also inspect our leather hides. Anne is looking for any defect in the leather. She is marking those defects, so when we mark the leather, we can avoid those. So once the leather is inspected, we pull our patterns to mark all of our pieces while we avoid any spots that we may have marked for defects. So once everything is marked out on the leather hide, Connie will use her cordless cutter to cut out all of the parts. Each part has been marked individually with a code that lets the sewer know where those pieces sew together. So any of the scrap that is left over during the cutting process is saved to be used on any upcycling projects at a later date. So she also is cutting small indentions that we call notches. That lets the sewer know where to sew the piece to the piece that sews to it. It fits together like a puzzle, and the notches let the sewer know how to sew it together. The notches can also be used to make butterfly pleats. So what Connie is currently cutting is a leather chair. So what you're seeing now, Cameron is running one of our automated cutting machines. All of our patterns are digitized into the system, and we create patterns through our CAD technology. That will feed into our system as Cameron will bring up the style that we are cutting, and then it automatically cuts all of the parts out true to size. AutoCAD can cut a sofa in approximately 12 to 15 minutes versus hand cut, which would take 30 to 45 minutes. As the machine is cutting the parts, Cameron will lay those on the table, put them together in a certain order, which allows the sewer to go through and sew certain parts together that need to be sewn together. 99% of all the fabrics that we run here at Universal can be cut on our automated cutting machines. Any fabric that is a really thick tapestry style fabric, we can hand cut on our hand cutting table. There are also certain designs that are easier to hand cut than it is to cut on the machine. Some of our more expensive fabrics we would hand cut also. The machine that Cameron uses cuts one single layer at a time. The one that Cindy is using that we're viewing now can cut multiple layers at one time. So this is better if we have an order that has 5 sofas. We could actually stack all 5 sofas together and cut them at one time. This machine holds down the fabric by using an air suction system. The plastic that we pull over the top of it just keeps a more even hold on the fabric to keep it from moving as the blade is pushing through. The monitor that you see in front of Cindy shows each piece of the pattern as it comes through the machine. As it is cut, it highlights it on the screen, and that lets her know which piece of the sofa or chair is coming toward her next. This helps her when she's packing the sofa or the chair up to go into the sewing department. So once the bundle is cut and sent to sewing, It is picked up and brought over and scanned, and a law label will print out that will give all of the contents of everything that is in that particular piece of furniture. So once the cover is cut and bundled, it comes to our sewing department. What Dottie is doing is sewing out arms to an out back on one of our barrel back chairs. So what Dottie will do is she will get an entire sofa or an entire chair, and she will sew everything from the flat work, which is everything that upholsters to the frame. That it also will include the cushion and the back and the toss pillows. So Dottie will sew everything on each piece of furniture that she gets from beginning to end. Our entire process is bench made. All of the sewers will sew the entire piece of furniture themselves. So Sharon does our double needle process, which is a decorative stitch that is used. You open up the seams on the bottom and it puts the decorative stitch on top. Some people call that a baseball stitch or a saddle stitch. So once the cover is sewn, Brenda or any of the other inspectors will pick up all of the parts from the sewer. And what she's doing now is she is turning the corners of the cushion to make sure that all of the corners are sewn correctly, making sure that there's no drop stitch, which will leave an open part in the seams. Every job that is sewn gets inspected. Every piece of the job is inspected for quality to make sure everything is ready to go into upholstery and can be built. So in this process, Anna is doing what we call pre-tufting. She pushes the needle through, she threads the buttons, and she attaches that to the poly that is below it. This allows the upholsterer to be able to tuft it and put the folds in around the buttons when he is upholstering it. Pre-tufting is a quicker process than hand tufting live at the job, which is why Anna does this job. Yes, it's according to what style it is. Some pieces have to tuft at the station when it is being insided, but most of our jobs are pre-tufted by Anna, which makes it quicker to go through our manufacturing process. It also makes it easier on the upholsterer, so he doesn't have to do as much pulling on the buttons. It's already done ahead of time for him. And what Anna's doing now is she puts a stopper on the back to hold the string and the button in place. She uses a small piece of cotton or fiber, which makes it to where the string doesn't pull back through, letting the button pop out. What Reggie's doing now is using our cushion fill machine. It squeezes the foam down to where we can put the jacket on it. Then he has to reach in, fill out the corners, and make sure everything is straight on the front of the piece and on the sides of the piece before he zips it up and moves it onto upholstery.
Throughout our upholstery program, we also run a custom upholstered bed program, which offers 12 of our custom upholstered beds in any of our 450 fabrics or leathers. And that upholstery process also takes place here.
So Chris is one of our insiders, and what he is doing currently is putting a layer of cotton in the end back, which gives extra padding on the end back of the sofa. So once the furniture is insided, Carolyn will take all of the components out, and what she is looking for is to make sure all of the insiding is done correctly. She is going to go around and look for staples to be sticking out, anything that would be a flaw on the piece of furniture. She grabs the ticket, matches it to the law label to make sure that everything is correct and built correctly. Once that process is finished, she will move it on to the trim department to get the outsides put on. So Richard is doing our trim process. He is putting the outsides of the piece of furniture together. So Tim is building one of our recliners. What he is currently doing is putting the USB port and the charging cord into place on the side. It comes to us with a raw frame. We completely assemble everything, upholster it, put the mechanism in it, and everything is done here at this one station. So once the piece of furniture is finished, the inspectors will go through, blow off any strings, look for any defects in the fabric, make sure the brass nail is done correctly, make sure they will make sure all of the parts are done correctly on the piece before it is packaged to go to the customer. So what Bruce is currently doing is adding a small design onto the corner at the front of this chair. So Bruce is doing our brass nail process. He will match up the brass nail to whatever color the customer has ordered, and then he will brass nail mostly around the bottom of it. Some of ours take brass nail around the top also and around the arms. So this is the last part of the process in our factory before the piece of furniture goes out to our customers. They've added the cardboard corners on it to help protect during the shipping process. They also have added a white fabric bag to help protect the piece of furniture. The next piece they're adding on is a plastic bag, which they will then heat shrink to the piece of furniture. That will hold everything into place during the shipping process. So once the piece of furniture is wrapped, it will come through the tunnel, come into our shipping department, and Justin will get the piece of furniture from the track and put it in whichever area of the shipping department it goes in, waiting for the trucks to pick it up.
Thanks for visiting with us here at Universal Furniture. We hope you enjoyed your time. So check us out at universalfurniture.com, where you can use our online draping tool to choose from over 425 fabrics, 50 different leathers, 7 different leg finishes, and multiple choices of nail heads and cushion options, where you can make every sofa your own.